January 9th, 2022. North Korea loses internet access. State-run websites suddenly go dark. Did Kim's latest missile tests trigger retaliation? Analysts suspect a major cyber attack, potentially carried out by a rival nation. But the truth? A lone hacker in pajamas driven by anger. Why did he do it? And how far was he willing to go to make North Korea pay? A year earlier, a 38-year-old man sits at his desk, scanning through code. Online, he's known only by his handle, P4X. Late that night, P4X receives a message from another cybersecurity researcher, introducing a new hacking tool. He opens the file, but nothing happens. The next day, Google publishes a bombshell article. North Korean hackers are using booby-trapped files to target Western security researchers. P4X checks the file again and realizes he was one of their targets. P4X is stunned. Why would North Korea go after him personally? He had narrowly avoided serious damage by isolating the malware, but the incident leaves him unsettled. He soon learns he wasn't the only one targeted. The attack was part of a wider campaign by North Korean operatives to steal hacking tools and vulnerability research from experts like him. P4X expects the US government to respond. An FBI agent does contact him, but only to take his statement. There's no follow-up, no help securing his systems, no consequences for the attackers. Weeks turn into months. Nothing happens. P4X feels abandoned. North Korea targeted him and got away with it. Over time, frustration hardens into resolve. If authorities won't respond, maybe he will. The idea sounds reckless. One man striking back at the most isolated regime on Earth. But by the end of 2021, his decision is made. He'll go after North Korea himself. P4X quietly begins collecting intelligence. This time, he's the hunter. His target? North Korea's narrow online infrastructure. P4X discovers something that amazes him. North Korea's internet footprint is small and fragile. Only a few networks and a dozen websites serve the entire nation. To an expert like him, this is an easy target. P4X spends every night digging into North Korea's systems. Before long, he finds vulnerabilities and lots of them. He begins working on custom scripts to automate the attacks. His code will scan North Korean servers, find which ones are online, then hit them with exploits to crash them. His plan? Knock North Korea off the global internet. He didn't tell anyone about his side project. He operates in secrecy. He knows that if he's caught, he faces serious legal trouble. He takes precautions. He hides behind a pseudonym. He calls himself P4X, a quiet joke about punishment and peace. The name gives him cover. No identity, no face, only retaliation. Tonight, P4X sits quietly in his Miami home. He watches his monitors flicker as streams of data flood toward North Korea. At first, everything seems normal. No explosions, no immediate visual proof of impact, just code in the background. He starts a film to pass the time, munching on corn chips, pretending today is a day like any other. Every few minutes, he pauses and heads back to his office to check the attack's progress. Each time, the news gets better. One by one, North Korean servers start crashing. P4X probes the country's few public websites. Air Koryo's booking site goes down. Nara, the regime's official portal, goes dark. The state news site follows. He refreshes. Nothing. One by one, the pages time out. Across the world, users see only error messages. Inside the closed nation, officials suddenly lose email and web access. North Korea has gone offline. Still, P4X doesn't celebrate. Is this real? Could one person really have done this? He checks an independent monitoring service that tracks website uptime. North Korea's domains show widespread outages, nearly all of them down. Elsewhere, a veteran cybersecurity researcher watching North Korean traffic sees entire networks collapsing under a mysterious attack. He has no idea who's responsible. P4X smiles. It's working. No one knows it's him. By the time he stops for the night, nearly every North Korean website is offline. An entire country's online presence has been brought down by a single hacker at his keyboard. Before bed, P4X takes a moment to process it. The feeling is part triumph, part disbelief. North Korea's internet is meant to be a controlled fortress, yet he broke through it with surprising ease. The first night of his private cyber campaign ends, but he knows it's only the beginning. Every site is down. The regime is offline. But now comes the real danger. What happens when the world notices and starts asking who did it? The next morning, news of North Korea's internet outage spreads quietly among analysts and intelligence circles. It's not every day a country's internet goes dark. Speculation spreads quickly. Was it U.S. Cyber Command or another state-backed group? The timing raises suspicion. Just days earlier, North Korea had launched a series of missile tests. Some suggest the outage was a quiet cyber response by a major power, a warning for Pyongyang to ease its provocations. North Korea's government stays silent. There's no public acknowledgement that anything is wrong. Inside the country, most citizens don't even notice. The global internet is already out of reach for them. Fewer than 1% can access anything beyond the domestic network. The outages mainly hit the regime's propaganda sites and email systems used abroad. On the streets of Pyongyang, life goes on. The blackout is an embarrassment for the leadership, not a crisis for the country. Abroad, among the small community that tracks North Korea, the outage draws intense attention. For days, nearly all of the country's few public websites remain unreachable. Tech forums and Twitter fill with speculation. Is North Korea under cyber attack? When a few sites briefly return, they soon drop again. It feels as if someone is deliberately cutting the regime's link to the outside world, switching it off, then back on. Still, no government takes credit, no one steps forward. The silence only adds to the mystery. Was it covert pressure from the US or South Korea? A strike by hackers from a rival state? With no answers, speculation grows. Few suspect the truth that North Korea's internet isn't under attack by a national cyber force, but by a single hacker working alone from home. P4X watches the global guessing game from behind his keyboard. He reads articles blaming state-backed operations and smiles. The world doesn't realize this is a personal vendetta unfolding in real time. For P4X, the confusion is part of the reward. He doesn't want fame or credit. Not yet. Staying in the shadows keeps him safe. As long as the regime doesn't know who's behind it, they can't respond. But the longer it continues, the more doubts surface. How long can one person sustain this? What if North Korea finds a way to strike back, online or otherwise? The world may be guessing, but P4X knows he's escalating something that could quickly spiral out of control. For now, he's winning, but humiliating a nuclear-armed regime comes with risks. By knocking North Korea offline, P4X has made his point. The regime has been exposed, shown to be so fragile that a single hacker can disrupt it at will. For P4X, it feels like vindication. He wanted to send a message, and he did. "I wanted to hurt the government, not the people," he later says. To him, taking down propaganda sites is symbolic, like tearing down a dictator's billboards. But success changes the calculation. Temporary outages no longer feel enough. North Korea's hackers won't stop on their own, so P4X decides to raise the stakes. Next, he won't just disrupt systems. He plans to break into them, uncover secrets, and expose what he finds to the world. If shutting off the internet got the regime's attention, stealing data could do far more. But P4X knows he can't go much further alone, so he quietly launches a site on the dark web, the Funk Project, short for FU North Korea. It's a call for other activists to join him. One hacker took the country offline. A small group could go deeper. Not everyone approves. Some cybersecurity researchers warn that his actions could disrupt sensitive intelligence operations. To the US government, hacking is still a crime, even when the target is a hostile state. P4X understands that. He knows he's risking prison and possibly retaliation if North Korea can identify him. Is he afraid? Not really. He's driven by anger and conviction. In his view, North Korea's regime carries out cyber attacks and abuses without consequence. Someone has to respond. "My conscience is clear," he says. So far, no law enforcement has come knocking, and North Korea hasn't identified him. P4X remains anonymous, untouched, and active, working in the shadows until April 2024, when he decided to disclose his identity to Wired. His name? Alejandro Caceres, a 38-year-old American living in Miami at the time.